Hello and welcome to Cinemastrophe. I'm Don Perignon, saving you from getting ripped off. Well, it's March again, which means it's time to celebrate St. Patrick's Day. And now that I'm done with all the Leprechaun movies... I needed some green sewage to fit the bill. This immediately made me think of Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, produced by Michael Bay.
Or as I like to call him, ruiner of childhood icons, because when it comes to making movies about iconic fictional characters, no matter if he's producing them or directing them, they always come out a huge pile of buffalo shit. Or, in today's case, an 8-foot pile high of turtle shit. Even with the scrapping of the idea of making them aliens, thanks to the backlash he got from fans about it, they still managed to fuck it up.
Michael Bay was involved, so what else was I expecting?
Oh, bats! Oh! 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 Bats! Oh! Bats! What the fuck did you think? What the hell I was going to do? Every time I stand in front of you, so you don't have disrespect. How far can you take that bullshit? Now it's time you get this shit on! Oh! That's wrong! Oh! That's wrong! Oh! That's wrong! Oh! That's wrong! Oh, bats! Oh!
The movie starts out with a narration by Splinter.
You are extraordinary, my sons, bound for greatness.
Since Michael Bay was over everyone's shoulder during the making of this thing, I'm pretty sure this is the same speech his father gave him after he made Armageddon. Then he made Pearl Harbor, and I'm pretty sure his father disowned him.
Destined to protect the people of New York. A dark force is growing. A criminal organization known as the Foot Clan. So named because they step over the good people of this city.
So did they come up with that name, or did the people call them that? Because it's a pretty stupid name to call yourself in the year 2014. And if the people named them that, why would you stick with that name? Not to mention, it's still a pretty stupid name to give a gang in the year 2014. And if the people did name them that, why aren't the police doing anything about them? If you have a well-known name, you're not exactly secret. Also, how does Splinter know that they're destined to fight the Foot Clan? Maybe they're destined to be construction workers or bus drivers. Did he see a sign about their destiny on a sewer wall somewhere?
Look, my sons. 'Tis your destiny.
They also give us a montage of the turtles breaking random stuff like video cassette tapes and bricks, because that's what you find in a sewer, right?
I mean, it's not like they can go to the city dump and find old thrown out gym equipment. Oh wait, yes they can! In fact, that's probably where they got all this junk in the first place. Hey look! A heavy bag and weight set! You think we should take it back to the lair to train with? Nah, these old records and bricks will work just fine.
We then cut to April O'Neil, played by Megan Fox, trying to get a report on a chemical robbery by the Foot Clan at the harbor. The only problem is she's not a real reporter, but rather one of those fluff reporters trying to... Wait a minute.
You know, when a movie starts reminding you of 1998 Godzilla, it's all downhill from there.
And why does this one girl in the back not have a trampoline? Is she being punished by the trampoline Nazi?
3 years of journalism school so that I can do that.
Nice work on the editing there, guys. Well, I might as well start a bad editing counter because I'm sure this is going to be a thing. Look at this asshole. You know that taxi driver just wants to run her ass over. She starts to go back to the docks to get more information, and then out of nowhere just decides to Skype him instead.
It just raises too many questions.
He tells her to talk to one of his guys at the docks for more information. Don't know why she doesn't just Skype him too, since apparently she has a mutant ability not only to know who has Skype, but their numbers as well.
It's like having the Shimigami eyes, only for Skype.
So she goes back to the docks at the dead of night, of course, because it's the only way she can get a picture of Batman, where she sees another chemical robbery taking place. And considering this is New York City post 9/11, you'd think there would be a high terrorist alert after the first chemical robbery, and the place would be crawling with the National Guard.
This is why the plot is a bunch of horse shit in the first place.
After no one will listen to her in the office, she tries to take a picture of the robbery. Yeah, don't go out there calling the police or anything.
Wait, why didn't she call the police?
It just raises too many questions.
Anyway, she tries to take a picture or video, not sure which one, of the robbery, but her phone says low light and won't let her.
Not sure what kind of phone she has. Mine doesn't give a fuck about the lighting. I might not be able to see shit, but it'll still record.
This is me filming in the dark. Ow.
She hops the fence just in time to see the Foot Clan throwing themselves around and one of the containers pulling a paranormal activity. She sees one of the turtles and tries to take a picture of him, but is too slow, opting instead to take a picture of one of the symbols they somehow managed to spray paint on one of the crates in the 10 seconds between finishing the fight and disappearing. So, stealing is wrong, but defacing public property is perfectly okay. Also, suddenly there's enough light for her camera to work, even though the only thing that's changed between now and before is my sunny disposition.
I'm sorry, I'm allergic to bullshit.
Skyping with my
You
mom.
have no idea what I just went through. I am freaking out.
I just saw a Foot Clan attack.
Are you okay?
I was riding my bike by the docks. It was night. It's dark already, and there are Foot
Yeah, that's what happens when the sun goes down. It gets dark, Captain Obvious. And why are we even having this scene with a no-name character who serves absolutely no point to the story?
I don't know.
The next day, she goes to her boss, played by Whoopi Goldberg, with what she saw and the one picture of the symbol. It goes about as well as you expected.
O'Neill, I'm gonna assume that you would not come up here and tell us this fantastic story without some tangible proof.
I actually think that it may be his calling card.
This is nothing. Oh, I get it. You wanted me to put nothing on the nightly news.
Of course not.
You know, I'm gonna pretend we never had this conversation. I'm erasing it from my mind. And the rest of us, we're gonna go back to work. Let's hit it.
Okay.
Meh. I heard worse reactions to Fantastical Tales. I couldn't find a Man of Steel Perry White clip. No, I don't own that piece of shit.
We then cut to a news clip of the city making an ambiguous deal with a one Eric Sachs, played by William Fichtner, who is obviously evil because he's played by William Fichtner, and Sachs Industries to help fight against the Foot, followed by our first look at Shredder doing some captivity training. Plan on being taken hostage in the near future, or is this normal secret organization training?
We couldn't have anticipated the vigilante showing up at the docks, Master Shredder.
Capture the vigilantes however you can.
Wait, she only said there was one, so how did he know there was more than one? Is the Shredder in this movie psychic? Or did he just do the smart thing and fast forward through everything in this movie but the fight scenes?
No one will stop us in our quest to reclaim victory.
Victory over who? Last time I checked, you have to have an actual opponent to claim victory over, and since the city isn't really fighting back, you pretty much don't have one. Elsewhere, at a charity event, we find out that April's father used to work with the evil Sack on a research project. You know what? Fuck this. Everyone is conveniently connected to one another. That's all you really need to know. Everyone except this chick. No, seriously, who the fuck is this? After the event, April's on her way home when a mass of people come running around the corner, so she goes to put herself in a position to be rescued.
A nighttime rescue? Must be Thursday.
The Turtles hear over the police scanner that the Foot has taken hostages at the Broad Street station, which means these people are running from something completely different because this is clearly the Canal Street station.
My guess is the Rat King was throwing another party. Things get pretty rowdy when New York City sewer rats get intoxicated.
Also, the first day of spring is March 20th, and this is 3 days later, so why does the date on that screen say March 13th?
Space is warped and time is bendable.
Hey look, April's captured, what a surprise. The Turtles arrive to make cool sound effects as the camera stares at April on a subway train that not only did the dispatcher let go through the tunnels despite of a hostage situation going on, but is conveniently empty and doesn't even stop at the station. Yeah, we know there's a hostage situation going on, but we have to have our train yard inventory done by midnight, damn it. The Turtles escape up a construction tube, which happens to be the longest construction tube in history since it lets out in the Iron District, which is over a mile away.
He'll be drinking out of a sippy cup for a month.
Oh, that's what I'm talking about, brothers. Like shadows in the night, completely unseen.
Stupid! You're so stupid!
After giving April whiplash and breaking a few bones with that move, we get some more pop culture references and not funny jokes.
Give me the camera. Oh, look, he's doing his Batman voice.
Before the infamous TV spot of the ugly turtle nose.
Don't freak out. Right?
I heard Megan Fox had the same reaction when she realized what little career she had was now completely gone and she'd have to spend the rest of her life making a living doing these movies.
When she comes to, they give her phone back saying all the pictures were erased just so they can say each other's name in front of her and she can take more pictures of them as they leave.
Are you sure this isn't Dumb and Dumber 2?
Yeah, because New York City is full of giant open manholes big enough to fit 8-foot, 300-pound turtles to slide through like a water slide at Wild Water Kingdom.
Why not? The entire movie's shit anyway.
Speaking of shit, we go through a lot of it to find out that the turtles were April's pet turtles that her dad was doing research on.
Something amazing. It's supposed to be from a different planet in outer space. Here we go.
The movie then endorses bestiality.
So guys, if it wasn't already obvious with that girl, dibs.
April gets fired for bringing up the turtles again, even though she has tons of proof now, research paper, old tape recordings of the actual experiment, and pictures of the turtles, all of which she does not bother bringing up at any time.
These turtles.
Pizza has cheese, tomato sauce, all your favorite stuff. Eat it. You guys need nutrition. Or not.
Tells Will Arnett about the turtles, who silently laughs at her.
I'm getting there.
She goes to the evil Sax house, who apparently bought Wayne Manor, where after telling him about the turtles, we get his childhood history connecting him to the Shredder, and he gives her a plastic business card, which clearly has a tracking device in it. Having found out what happened, Splinter tells the turtles to bring April to the lair because she's now in danger. Once she arrives, the movie reveals that Sax is evil, big surprise there, and the origin of the turtles.
I don't remember a time before living in that laboratory. That fateful night started like any other. After the brothers went to sleep, I heard loud voices. There was the smell of smoke. Alarms sounded. Your father had discovered the truth behind the man he was working for. He set fire to the lab. His last breath was taken, trying to destroy Shredder's plan.
Okay, as far as I can tell, you were still a rat and no one bothered to teach you how to speak or read, so how do you know any of this shit?
If anything, all you would have heard was this. Furthermore, how would you know what her father found out since you weren't even there when he did? For all you know, he went batshit crazy and decided to torch the place for fun. And how do you know who Shredder is and what his plan was? Did he make monthly inspections in the lab where he discussed his evil plan with Sax?
I like turtles.
I was terrified, but then you appeared. And ushered us to safety.
So her father is burning to death in a raging fire, and she takes the time to save a rat and 4 turtles.
I had a voice then.
That's pretty fucked up.
I
Also, does she have a mom, or did she just save them at the cost of spending the rest of her life in an orphanage? He goes on to say how they started to change once they were in the sewer.
I guess shit was the key ingredient. At least the writers seem to think it was the key ingredient to this script.
Like all children, they were drawn to the distractions of popular culture. And I knew one day they would want to explore the world above.
Oh, for fuck's sakes. Putting pop cult references in your movie doesn't make it cool. It just makes it dated in 2 years. How are they able to hear the music through the glass anyway?
They would need to learn to protect themselves, both mentally and physically.
Yeah, whatever, man.
And then I found a way. First, I would teach myself the ancient art of ninjutsu. The brothers followed my lead, accelerating at a wondrous rate.
So he managed to teach himself ninjutsu in 1 day? Who is he, Neo?
I know Kung Fu.
You know, through all this, all I keep wondering is, where did they get money to buy pizza?
Why do they bother wearing masks? Bandanas I'm cool with, but masks? You're giant fucking green turtles. You aren't masking anything. And why is Donatello wearing glasses? Just because he's smart doesn't mean he automatically has to have glasses.
Yeah, I can imagine how that intellectual conversation went. I think Donatello should have glasses. Because he's a nerd. Nerds wear glasses. Give him glasses.
Splinter asks April who else has she told, but she says the only one who would believe her was Eric Sachs.
Sachs is not a friend. His soul has been poisoned by the influence of a dark master, the Shredder. Shredder practically raised Sachs in Japan. He's like a father to him.
You didn't even exist at that time, so how would you know that?
I like turtles.
Of course, now that Splinter has finally finished his story, the foot attacks.
How convenient.
Shredder arrives in a giant robotic Shredder suit, making him look exactly like Megatron.
Fucking Michael Bay.
While Splinter is busy fighting the Shredder, Raphael somehow manages to cause the ceiling to fall on himself.
Because good is dumb.
And I love the way Shredder is already proficient with the Megatron suit, even though he literally just got it an hour ago. Rather than letting his sons help him fight the Shredder, Splinter decides it would serve them best if he locked them out of the fight and dies a martyr.
Children, drop your weapons, or your father will die.
Well, that worked out swimmingly. Thinking Raphael is dead, the Shredder tells the Foot to destroy the place, which in this movie means setting off M80s inside a giant bag of dirt. Right after they drive off, Raphael climbs out of the rubble, finds Splinter still alive, who tells him to go save his brothers.
Some kind of a tracker.
It's Donatello.
We need a ride.
Oh, Neo.
How the fuck did you know who it was? She called you from a fucking payphone. She tells him to come meet her in the alley, which he thinks is a date.
Okay, seriously, the only way anyone would think meeting her in an alley was a date was if she was a hooker.
Stop showing that!
We don't need to make up excuses to hang out with each other. You want to spend more time with me? I get it. I would too.
We need to get to the Sachs estate right now, Vern.
That's what I'm talking about. O'Neill, the Sachs estate with the vigilantes. What? Drive.
No.
At the Sachs estate, Sachs does the evil monologue thing, so the Turtles know how to stop him and Shredder later, explaining that he plans to use the tower of his buildings in New York City to poison the city so the government can pay him for the antidote, which is in the mutagen in the Turtles' blood, and Shredder can rule the city. Not the world, mind you, just New York City.
Why?
And why, after hearing that plan, do I get a sense of deja vu?
Initializing Ganali device.
detonation.
The Turtle Gang shows up, ramming through the back gate, which is conveniently unguarded and made out of shipping peanuts. Surprise! Making their way inside, Sax taking the blood they drained from the turtles to New York to extract the mutagen, Raph finds his brothers but is unable to break the cages they are in, leading to him facing off against Shredder. So he can break that huge piece of wall into dust, but not the glass cages.
That's stupid!
April asks Donatello what to do, and he says pump them full of adrenaline. Why a machine that is meant to drain them of their blood even has the ability to pump adrenaline, or is even fully stocked with it, is beyond me.
I think we should move.
So not only does adrenaline make it so they can break out of the same glass cages that Raph, the strongest of the turtles, couldn't break earlier, but it apparently also gives you a sugar high.
I feel like cleaning. Who wants to clean the dojo? I'll clean the dojo.
After retrieving Raphael, which Shredder left alive for no reason whatsoever, they head outside where they discover that they are bulletproof because...
Mutagen?
They steal a semi-truck as opposed to all the other vehicles, including a Hummer because...
Because they're fucking stupid! Everything about this movie is stupid!
The story, the plot, the setup, even the fucking action scenes. Look at this chase scene. First of all, where the fuck are they that they're mountains? There is no mountains anywhere near New York City. And I find it extremely hard to believe that these guys can drive down a snowy mountain full of trees and boulders with such ease. Look at this shit. They hit not a tree or a boulder or nothing. It's like they're chasing them on a CGI background. They make it to the sewers because apparently all sewers lead to Manhattan in this universe, just so we can see this bullshit again, and they end up in Sax Towers.
No, we can go find Sax and get our hands on the mutagen as a contingency plan, just in case, you know.
If we don't make it back, bring the mutagen to Splinter. It can save his life.
How does he know that? How does everybody know shit they should know in this movie? It's not over. This is not over. So I have 20 minutes. Okay. Let's skip to the end, cause I can't take much more of this.
April and Arnett take out Sax, who claims to have killed her father, even though Splinter said he died in the fire, which one is it movie, and get the mutagen, while despite getting their asses kicked for fighting Shredder one at a time rather than together, the turtles manage to stop the countdown. Shredder gets so pissed that he uses his blades to cut through the metal beams of the tower's antenna, even though those are the same blades that couldn't cut through the turtles or their weapons.
Oh, okay.
In the end, they manage to defeat Shredder and survive a 10,000-foot drop into the middle of Times Square during broad daylight and are seen by no one. The end.
Well, not completely over. They save Splinter, and April and Arnett keep the turtles' existence a secret. This movie reeks like a turtle salmonella-infested anus.
There are no words to describe how bad this movie truly is. Do I really need to do a synopsis on this? You saw it. Nothing about this worked at all. Every 5 minutes, you ran into a plot hole. It just leaves you with a bunch of confusing questions. You'd think someone, anyone, on this project would have looked at this script and said that it just doesn't work. The only credit I can give it is that it tried to make April O'Neil relevant by giving her a backstory, but even that was shit. Let's just call this what it really was. It was nothing more than a 90-minute commercial. And not just for turtle toys. For Pizza Hut, Under Armour, Orange Crush, Sony, that camera didn't exist in 1999 by the way, Google, Skype, Windows Phone. They even promoted an upcoming Paramount movie in this movie. That's gotta be a new low.
I'm Don Perignon, and after this thing, I really need to get drunk.
On the scene, cool teens doing ninja things. So extreme, out the sewer like laser beams. the king. Can't stop these radical dudes. The secret of the ooze is the chosen few. Emerge from the shadows to make their move. The good guys win and the bad guys lose. Leonardo's a leader in blue. Does anything it takes to get his stitches through. Donatello is a fellow, has a way with machines. Raphael's got the most attitude on the team. Michelangelo, he's one of a kind. And he knows where to find it when it's party time. That's a split inside of every single skill they need to be one lean, mean, greedy, critical team.
It just refuses to end.